These are a set of very powerful ideas, but they can also be rather counterintuitive. I mean, we're used to see things in terms of stock. This is a pile of things that I own. There are stocks everywhere, and the idea that we see things in terms of lead time, in terms of cycle times, this is not a matter of how much I've got. It's a matter of how quickly I can get it, if I can. This is radically changes how we look at the world. Another of these very powerful ideas where we're very used about, the leader gives orders and the people there follow and execute. It's like kind of a Star Trek thing of, make it so. So the leader gives the orders and people execute. The idea that the leader gives a direction and asks for everybody's intent and people actually seek to help to get into the direction. This is, again, very powerful and very counterintuitive. A third very counterintuitive idea is we're so used to reform. Everybody wants to reform the system every time, all the time. So people think that if we change the system, everything else changes. And the idea that we're going to keep things mostly as they are, and then we're going to make them work. And we're going to ask every person, every team to make one change after the other so that we organically transform, shape, form, morph the system into something more adaptive, more efficient. This, again, is very powerful. It's very efficient. It's also very effective, but very counterintuitive. It's hard to grasp because we're so used to our usual way of thinking. So this book, we're trying to communicate these ideas in many different ways, and mostly through books, of course. But first, I try to communicate these ideas in a novelized version, which is a Goldmine trilogy. The first book, The Goldmine, was about learning to do Kaizen firsthand. The second book was about setting up a full management system for Kaizen to happen. And the third book was about the kind of leadership you needed to develop to make these Kaizen happen in the right direction. So through the novels, people could grasp the story and touch the emotions that go with this and the events and see how it unfolds. Another attempt that we're currently writing with Dan Jones and Jacques Chaise and Henri Fiume is a more classic theory of it, is the cold explanation of the lean process. It's a classic business books with a here's the theory, here are the cases, here is the evidence. This is for more rational thinkers, more distant. This book is slightly different. It's more of a field book. It's more of people who grasp learning by cherry picking little things, and they make their own universe, they make their own understanding. So the idea was that we would take key articles in the research mind mostly, but most of it was also very collaborative. Most of it is done with other people, just like Dan Jones, of course, like Jeff Liker, like Art Smalley, people, mostly my teachers, people who've taught me. And so this book, you put together these impressionistic touches that these little atoms of understanding of different things, and so I think it's a great way to go into it rather than having the novelized version or having it all put together as a constructed theory, which we're doing in another book. The reason I wanted to publish this book is that you can see all the touches, all the different ways that I understood things through being taught by my teachers and mentors who co-write with these articles with me, and so you see the progression of the understanding. And I think that for many people this probably is kind of valuable to. It's like sharing a journey, but without giving a dogmatic framework, with giving people just snippets and visions and pictures, and so they can put it all together in the way they want. And so this is, I think, a fairly original and interesting way of communicating this set of very powerful ideas.